Well, after the year-long wait, here we are. Oshinoko Season 2. Something that I think the majority of people have been looking forward to, and well, let's be honest here, for good reason. Season 1 blew us right out of the park. Season 2 came in and just so far has piqued my interest substantially. So before we really delve into like more about how I feel about it, let's get into the episode and go from there. So we start off, and obviously we are now into the Tokyo Blade arc, which, not gonna lie, pretty pumped about. It's like a inceptional manga inside a manga play, and we get this intro, and it's the characters of the play. You know, it's like a bunch of people sitting in an audience at the theater, and you get your character introductions, and well, at least the main character introductions. You got Blade, you've got Tsurugi, and then you have Kizumi and Monome and Toki and Princess Saya. And right after that, which they do, by the way, add these really nice, cool visuals and like everything with the stage lights while they're like going person to person from like scene to scene, which is pretty neat. And then they get this nice title card, and it's just the kanji, and then the blade, the katana comes right through, and it's like Tokyo Blade, and it just looks like it's gonna be something really freaking good. Like, I'd love to go see that live show. And after that, we get the new intro, and the new intro is not, in my opinion, nearly as good as the yoasobi one. Obviously, Idol was freaking huge, but I will say that Fatal was actually a pretty dang good song. I'll give it that. I like it better than the outro, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So we cut to what is pretty much what I'm assuming. Well, not assuming necessarily, but it's just Aqua and Akane practicing their roles, and it gets them into the actual costumes while they're not in their costumes yet, but while they're playing it out, it's in their costumes and everything. And then we get kind of the quote-unquote reintroductions with their names and age and what characters they're playing. And obviously Aqua's, Toki, 16 years old. And then you got Princess Saya, which is Akane, who's 17. And in this, which they talked about last season as well, but obviously Akane and Aqua are quote-unquote dating for their look as actors. Then we get our boy Melt, who really screwed up the last TV series, who's playing Kizumi in this one. Somebody named Sakuya is playing Monome, or Monme. And then you've got Kana, who's playing Tsurugi. And yeah, so you pretty much get the introduction of who's doing what and kind of what's going on while they're practicing and getting ready for the play day one. And so after that, we get to go see Ruby, which obviously we don't get to see much of Ruby in this episode, but she's visiting Ai's plaque with the family gravesite, and just kind of explaining everything that's happening to her mother. Obviously, talking about the fact that even after that last show, they have had a few small shows online. They periodically upload videos, kind of trying to keep them relevant into the scene, obviously, because as a fan of the Japanese and Korean idol scenes, obviously the JP idol scene's a different beast, but that underground scene's tight, but you gotta stay up and at it. So she's talking about that, and she's talking about obviously Aqua with her mom, and how he keeps acting even though he says he doesn't like acting, and then he's got his girlfriend, and then it's for publicity and all that fun stuff, but for some reason, Ruby doesn't think, that they're only a couple for work's sake, but obviously it kind of is. I mean, I don't know who's to say, but she, keeps going on about the fact that, she's going to keep doing this until she's at Tokyo Dome. Something that, obviously her mother never got to do. And that she's going to keep giving it her all. And we get this nice still of obviously those two and her mom, just in this photo. And it's just absolutely, a little tear came to my eye. I mean, obviously I'm a pretty big crybaby, but I love that shit. That makes me so happy. But then, yes, after that, we get back obviously to Aqua, and he's explaining how Tokyo Blade's pretty much, like extremely popular manga with 50 million copies sold. And it's pretty much your orthodox, battle manga with romance and, set in the past and all that fun stuff as they do. And, you know, Aqua's kind of reading through the script, and he gets to the point where he realizes by the end of the script he's actually going to be acting with just Kana. So he's getting kind of nervous about that because as we get into it a little bit more into this episode, it's obvious. I mean, it's been kind of shown throughout the first season too that she's pretty much one of those people that gives what she gets. You know what I'm saying? So she does pretty much exactly what she's given. Which could be kind of detrimental for Aqua, even though Aqua is a pretty good actor. So be it. But, even Akane is like, you nervous about, Kana and her acting and everything. He's like, yeah, I actually kind of am because she's really good and I don't want her to go too overboard if I have to act with her pretty much. In reality, she's even asking, why he's not so passionate about it. And he's like, oh, it's because I'm not that passionate about acting. And, with the internal monologue, obviously, he's pretty much just going like, I just want to know about my mom, so I'm getting close to this fucking director. And, the break's going to be over soon, so they got to get back to it. And there's this really cool, aspect that is a flashback to season 1, and obviously I think it's going to keep going. And obviously we kind of tell from the tension between Akane and Aqua that she, I guess maybe because he quote unquote saved her in the last season, but I think she feels like this relationship's like a real thing, whereas I don't think Aqua necessarily does as a means to an end. But we get this scene where, it's like I said, she's like, all right, he's like, all right, let's go back. And she's got to regularize, and he's getting up and getting ready to go. And she takes a breath, pauses, tells him to wait, gets up, gets her star eyes again like she did last season when she's really focused. And I love it. I love it so much. So we're getting ready to go rehearse again, and we get to see the the executive producer, that guy with the gray and black hair and the glasses. Then after that, they're kind of just discussing their whole cast they got and how well, everybody is for their roles, and the fact that, they're hand cherry picked. They've got a big feeling, obviously, that between Akane and Kana, there's going to be a fight, between who's going to be the best star out of the both of them. But, even the guys are like, it's going to be really tough. And obviously that, they all think that Akane has obviously got, a better chance at this until we get to see Kana and her partner. That's going to be her main, I guess, person she's working with throughout the script, Taiki. And he just is, I guess, one of the best Broadway actors out there. Not Broadway, but, stage play actors out there. And we get this scene of them two just doing this fake fight. And there's paint. And it's in grayscale. And they are just literally, metaphorically, and physically just tearing this place up. They're spreading it everywhere. They are just no cares given. If you're in that room, you're feeling it. And it shows with that representation into it. And so after that script and, scene is done, obviously, our girl Akane she gets splattered by it because she realizes that if she wants to compete with this girl that she feels that her boyfriend has feelings for, she needs to really step up her A game. And so we get to the scene, and it's pretty much just Kana and Taiki talking about how they should go get dinner and talk about the script and everything. They decide yes, and I think if I remember correctly, they drag Melt along with because they have a lot of roles or lines with him as well. And so we get this inner dialogue with Akane again about how she's, she used to prioritize supporting others, and now she wants to prioritize herself. And she's getting out her notebook again, just like she did when she was trying to figure out how to resemble to an extent for Aqua to get his attention. So she's like trying to like get the brain to move in, and then she's kind of talking about how, you only got a month for rehearsals and then the show kind of starts. And about the fact that necessarily sometimes they have stand-ins for people practicing, considering the fact that all these people have other roles and things they got to do for work. And then they kind of come back and, work on things. Now, we get to this scene now with Melt and Kana and Taiki again. And obviously, Taiki cannot read kanji. Welcome to the club, buddy. So they have, I think it's Melt that actually does it, maybe. No, it is Taiki, and then Melt's like thought it said something else. But yeah, we get that figured out, and she's telling them, they're calling them idiots because they can't read kanji, and they need to practice. And which, I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't even live in Japan, and I'm just a mediocre Japanese reader. I read a lot more than I can speak, but still, kanji's a nightmare. Yeah, so I get it. But Akane is, talking about how there's like separate groups for people right now and everything like that. And then there's Aqua, her boyfriend, all on his own because he has a stanky vibe. Well, I guess that's a fair assessment, but it's damn. And so after that, she approaches Aqua and she's asking if he's watching Kana, and he replies with yeah. And of course her feelings are kind of hurt because she's his girlfriend. And he kind of explains to her the fact that she tends to bring her acting, like I said earlier, up to par with who she's acting with, which is kind of deadly and dangerous combo. And he even tells her honestly, like, if you keep this up, you're gonna lose big time. And she gets the cutest little pout face, and I absolutely love it. It is absolutely adorable. But then she kind of comes to realize in her head, maybe mentally, she's like, what do I gotta do to match, like the emotional tension around me? Because she comes to realize, obviously, as she's read the manga and everything, and her character's like completely different. Like in the source material, she doesn't even have that big of a role. And she even calls her obviously like the failed love interest, but her character's like totally different than the script has it, because apparently, like, in the script, she's more or less a pacifist love interest, as where in the script she's more like, let's get war, like a total opposite character persona type of feel. And that's kind of bothering her, but she needs to like put the pieces together and like realize how she can do this. And we even get a comparison to the left of the puzzle where she has where she figured that out, and how she needs to figure out how to get into her character. But obviously, like I said, the source material is really bothering her, and she feels like there's nothing she can do, so she needs to like study up on that. And then after that, obviously, we get to meet the mangaka of the series, Abiko, and she's a little cutie, just this little introverted, neat. Well, not neat, I guess, necessarily, because she's a mangaka and she's always working, but you know what I mean, just this little introverted, cute little girl writing her manga. And we find out that today at noon, the manga author is actually coming by. So we get the mangaka coming today. And she's coming to say hello and to check out the script. And obviously, we get to that part in the day, and we get to see the mangaka that did Sweet today. And obviously, they get to say hi. She said Aqua. She says hi to, Kana, and everybody's happy. And then Melt comes up, and she's disappointed because he really screwed up that script. But behind her is the actual mangaka for Tokyo Blade, frickin' Abiko. And, it's pretty great. But, before any of that really comes to fruition, I think I slightly skipped this, but we get Aqua, and he's approaching the bench for the director and executive producer because his girlfriend's too shy to ask about the character and what their vision was for it. And, she says, how she feels about it. And they agree because, one of the executive producers read quite a bit of it because he's a fan. The director, read the first few chapters, even like explains, it'd be too long of a play. We only got 2 hours, blah, 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 blah. And so, she gets her answer for it. as much as she hates the answer, she gets her answer. But now the mangaka comes, and she's very timid, very shy, and we get that intro I was just describing, and right after that, Akane says hi, and she's so shy she hides behind the mangaka for the sweet talk, and it's just absolutely hilarious. And she even makes this quote of just making eye contact with attractive guys and girls flusters me. And I get it, especially being an introverted mangaka. And I mean, I'm not one, but you know, just being an introvert in general, just seeing attractive people is just it's tough. So she sits down and watches the screenplay, and this is where I think I'm absolutely going to freaking love the character of Abiko, because holy crap, she's like, yeah, everyone's doing so great at acting, or technically she says practicing, but she gets corrected to acting, and everything's going great. And then she just like takes the script and gets like you could see this tension with her thumb, like kind of like ripping the script almost, like she's not happy with it. And she's like, but that's all the more reason that, is it too late to revise it? And like and they're like, well, how much of it? And she's like, the whole thing. And that's pretty much the end of the episode, and we get our outro song, which happens to be, in my opinion, not nearly as good either. The intro and outros aren't as good this season, but you know what? That's not the main premise. However, Burning is the outro, and it's pretty good. I can't really complain about it. I definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, overall, this episode was a great start to the season. We jumped right into it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Right to the point. The animation was great. The story's going along very well, and I'm really excited to see where this goes because, basing just on season 1, but I don't know for sure. I'm really starting to love the character Akane. And I'm really also falling in love with Abiko. Just the way that the characters are going about this. And I knew in season 1 I was really starting to like Akane, but just the way the characters are just kind of like based and designed in this series is so freaking cool. I love how like not everybody's exactly a straightforward person, and they kind of go with where the flow's going and what their tasks are at hand and what they do need and want to do. I love it. I love it. But with that being said, yeah, that was episode 1. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, because I like to talk about this kind of stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It means a lot to me. And if you really enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button. We are going to be doing a bunch of seasonals this season, and I'm actually sticking to it. So we got Oshinoko. Me and Alex will be, Mr. Itchy Man, will be doing Monogatari and Tower God, and then I got one surprise coming up as well. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.